When I tell you that it is a circus in my brain, my ADHD brain, like I'm not kidding. It's literally like So I was scrolling through TikTok, like we all do, and I saw this interesting technique for frying chicken that I really want to try. For the sake of your eyeballs, we have decided to blur out the actual chicken part, but you need context. So this is the method that we're gonna test out today because I am very intrigued by this. And all the comments are like, oh my God, that doesn't work, or like you're gonna set your kitchen on fire. I'm willing to risk my kitchen. Let's put it to the test. My landlord is gonna hate it, but that's okay. This kitchen sucks. So I'm gonna test this with tofu. So in the original video, they have like a seasoning mixture. Onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, salt, and then lime. Don't have lime, gonna use lemon. And I've been soaking my tofu in like a vegan version of chicken broth for a couple hours. So it's going to be nice and flavorful on the inside. Let's mix it together. Bye. Lemon juice, garlic powder, onion powder, some salt. I'm just doing the seasoning the way that they do in the video, but you can really just season your tofu however you want. It's up to you, baby. In the original video, the like breading part is a mix of flour, salt, and cornmeal. And I actually saw somebody reacting to the video and she was like, cornmeal? And kind of like gave it a look, but like corn dogs exist with cornmeal in the batter and corn dogs are fucking delicious. So to me, it makes sense. Also, it'll add like a nice grittiness to like the crispy outer layer, which I think will be really nice. I think it's interesting that there's like almost no seasonings in this outside part, but I guess there is a ton in the tofu. So let's see how it goes. Tofu doesn't have bones. I'm gonna use a toothpick. I'm gonna need two to do this. Let's see how it goes. Now I will start by saying that this is coming across as a tedious task because you're literally doing it one by one, but anything for science. Delicious, delicious science. I've coated it very well. I'm actually gonna kind of press it so that it really sticks because we're not using any sort of binder. And then into the water and then right into the oil, which I'm gonna have to push it off with this other toothpick. No real splashing, which is great. Let's do a few of these. So while I have you here, just to cover all of our bases, I thought we would go over some grease fire safety tips. If you do this at home and you start a fire, I want you to never, ever, 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 ever put water on it. I want you to cover it because a fire cannot exist without oxygen. So put a lid on the thing, turn off the heat source. If it's a small fire, you can put it out with baking soda or salt. If it's a larger fire, a fire extinguisher. If you don't have one, get one for your kitchen. I'll leave an Amazon link for you to purchase one if you do not have one. Every kitchen should have one. But if it does get out of control, call 911. Listen, chances are you're not gonna start a grease fire. I'm just covering my bases here. You gotta make sure it's not dripping, and then it's perfectly safe. It's just as wet as a batter. But listen, I don't wanna be sued by anybody or blamed for anyone's house burning down. And let's face it, Americans do be putting frozen turkeys in deep fryers. But no one here watching this, I assume, now that I'm thinking about it. Because animals are not food. They are friends, not food. Tofu is food. I will say, this is a time-consuming and long task. So I don't know that I would do this all the time, but maybe like if I had a friend coming over who like really liked extra crispy stuff, sure. Also, it's not as greasy as when you normally deep fry things, which is interesting. It definitely has less of a grease factor, which we do love. And now I'm just talking to you as if you're sitting here in my kitchen, because what the hell else am I gonna do to keep my ADHD preoccupied so I can finish doing all of this tofu? Okay, so I actually do have a fun fire story. It's fun because it's fine, and it was all fine at the end. But once upon a time, I had this roommate, and she had epilepsy. Before she went to bed, she had to take this medication, and it made her like super, super drowsy. This one time, she had taken it and decided that she wanted a tea before bed, and she took like an electric kettle, you know, the ones that you like lift off the base on and off, and filled it with water, and then turned the stove element on and put that on the stove element. And it was plastic, right? Of course it catches on fire. I'm in my room, she walks away. My boyfriend at the time has like headphones in playing like video games or whatever. So like no one's noticing as this kettle gets engulfed in these fucking flames. And no one's really noticing. And all of a sudden I started smelling something, and it's smelling like burning plastic. And this is the day that I learned that I am terrible in a crisis. I didn't know what to do. I just started like freaking out, running back and forth. I don't know what to do now. And my boyfriend at the time was like, go in the hall and get the fire extinguisher. And I'm like, I don't know where it is. He's like, it's in the hall. So I run out, and luckily it was like right in front of our door, and I managed to grab it. And then he like used the fire extinguisher and got the fire out, but the fire department came. And then there was that like stupid fire extinguisher dust all over the place. And that stuff is like microscopically tiny. So it gets everywhere. And I had to clean the entire kitchen, and no one helped me because everyone was with me, and I worked from home because I do this. No one helped me, and I did it all by myself, and it took so long. It took like 2 full days because you have to like get all the dust up, and then you have to like wipe it all down, and it's like really toxic too. Then you're like finding dust for like weeks after. We didn't start the fire, it was always burning, even before we were turning. I don't remember the lyrics. They're nice and fluffy because they're medium tofu. Yay, we did it! So why does it work? Well, knowing what I know about food science, water and oil do not mix. It is why when you make a salad dressing and you add some lemon juice and some water, for example, you have to shake it up to emulsify it. They repel each other, if you will. When you dip the tofu that's battered in the water and then throw it in the hot oil, the water acts like a repellent from the oil and the batter. It's cooking without all the excess oil, making it like less greasy and super, super crunchy. Another great example of oil and water. So like attracts like, so oil attracts more oil. So at the end of the day, I'm done shooting. I wanna get all this shit off my face. I'm gonna use an oil-based cleanser because it's going to pick up with it all of the oil and oily products on my face. After that, then I'll wash it off with water. So oil attracts oil, and water, well, water. So the water creates this like vapor when it comes close to the hot oil, which creates a protective layer around the breading, if that makes sense. The other thing too is that what's different from this and like a traditional batter where the water is in the batter, it's gonna have a harder time evaporating because it's in the batter, which is in the oil. This, it evaporates more quickly. You get the water out of there really quickly, and all that you're left with is something crispy as opposed to a soggy batter. I did read in the comment section of the video that apparently they do this at a McDonald's in the Philippines as like a method of frying. So it's not gonna start a grease fire unless you're unsafe with it. The same way that you could start a fire in your home if you're unsafely cooking anything. Be safe, know what to happen if there's a fire, and definitely make this because it's so crispy. Oh my God, I wanna try it. Okay, taste test time. The breading is like so light. It's like super crispy, and you get everything that you want from like a fried something, but it's really light. Like I don't feel like this is like weighing itself down in my mouth or anything. There's also like relatively no oil. Like I'm not getting that like coating of oil in my mouth. This is delicious. Definitely try this. 10 out of 10. Let me know if there's like a weird food hack or trend or something that you see on TikTok in the comment section, and maybe I'll test that one out next. And don't forget to follow me on TikTok because like TikTok sees everything first. Fucking delicious. Well, it's hot. Okay, bye.